Hey there folks, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Walmart exclusive Hasbro Marvel Legends Lizard. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, right off the bat, I really do like this guy. He's one of my favorites in the collection. He's probably my favorite comic book Spidey figure. At least the villains. I think he's really nice. He's got some good things going on. So let's get into that. We're going to start off with his accessories first. Move him off to the side. He comes with two chemistry flasks. They've both got more specific names. I don't know them myself, but they're chemistry flasks for the most part. This one's got a little bit of red liquid in there, which is pretty cool. I do like that. You could use these for other figures, I suppose, too, like Beast or Bruce Banner. Plenty of other figures you can utilize these for as well, which is pretty cool. And then this one's got a yellow liquid in it, but the yellow liquid isn't really round like it should be. So there's that. But you get two sets of hands. You get a set of wide open hands, or more of a grasping hand. And then this one's like a wall crawling type hand. I really like the design of this hand. It's very nice. It would have been cool to, at least for myself, it would have been cool to at least get two of these and then keep this one. I think that would have been really nice, but I do like the variety. And just take a look at this one. So you can see all the skin texture in there, which is really cool. He does have those really lizard-looking fingertips with this hand, too, which I like. Very reminiscent of Steve Ditko's artwork. So that's pretty cool. Then you do get an alternate head. This one's more of your classic lizard design. I prefer to use the Steve Ditko-inspired head, just because I have another lizard figure that more accurately represents my other favorite lizard design. So I usually don't even have this out of the package, if I'm honest, but it is nice for the most part. Got a little hair there, but the eyes are done pretty nicely, and you know, the teeth are all painted well enough. Not on this side, but on this side they're painted well enough. It's all right. The tongue's cool, not bad. The jaw doesn't move or anything like that, but it is a separate piece. And then on the figure you get a gripping hand, which you can use to obviously grip your flasks. And then you got a fisted hand, so that's very nice right there. And then you get the Steve Ditko inspired head. Really like this. My two favorite designs for Lizard, as far as the comic books go, is the Steve Ditko design and the Todd McFarlane design. So I've got two figures based on those, so I really like the fact that this is included with this. But as far as the rest of the figure goes, it's pretty nice. You got your lab coat going, you got your tail, which is a separate piece. It's got a little bendy wire in there, which is pretty cool. It's not super pliable. It's mostly just the tip that you really get to mess with. The sort of main body of it doesn't really hold its shape, but you can get it to do enough stuff, I suppose. And then where it connects, you can get a little bit of a rotation, so that's nice. But you can see some more of that that skin texture, and it's pretty consistent throughout the different types of plastic and stuff, so it looks pretty good. So yeah, you get your nice little tail there. So you just plug that right in the back. That's a little odd looking, but you just give him his tail. Not bad at all. Like the design of the feet too. Didn't look bad. A little bit more appealing than this, I suppose. But these feet are hard for him to stand anyway. I'll show you guys that a little bit later. But you get your purple pants and then the black shirt. It's kind of a grayish, actually. It's very similar to the color that they used on the first appearance Spider-Man. It's kind of just a really dark gray, if anything. And you get that nice texture on there. The neck is a separate piece too, It's also got its own articulation, which we'll get into. And then the lab coat. I've had this figure for quite some time, so he's got a little bit of... He's not really dirty, he's just kind of... probably just some fingerprint action. But it's not crisp and clean, fresh out of the package. I actually, if you guys followed my other channel, Michael's Customs and Comics, about a year ago, I did 2 big unboxing videos, which I got a whole bunch of figures that I still haven't been able to review all the way because a lot of different things happened in 2023, so I'm trying to go back and get all these figures reviewed now that I have the opportunity to do so. So that's why you're seeing a lot of these older figures get reviewed. A lot of the No Way Home figures that came out are going to start getting reviewed. And a lot of stuff that I didn't get a chance to show you guys, like my SH Figuarts Homecoming Spider-Man and my Sentinel Peter B. Parker. A lot of different stuff is going to get reviewed that's older, but I got things to say about it, and I think people would enjoy the video. So that's why we're taking a look at this guy, even though he's technically a 2022 release, because he's the 60th anniversary of Spidey, but I think I got him in the beginning of 2023. But yeah, but look at that silhouette. That's very, very sharp. I really like that. I love that V shape. It's a little bit hidden just because of the lab coat, but it looks great. It really does. I really, really like that. Those big beefy shoulders. He's not the kind of the lizard design that a lot of people love, but I think that this just looks imposing without being overly done, in my opinion. Maybe he could use some more rips throughout his pants or some more dirt and grime for his lab coat and stuff, but this is based off a specific design of lizard, so none of that bothers me, and I have a really grimy lizard, so that doesn't really affect me, but of course other people might have a different opinion on that. But I think that they could do just another version of that. I think this one is just specifically supposed to be based off the Steve Ditko design. They gave you an alternate head for the people who don't like the short snout. So I'm personally really happy with this guy. But let's actually go ahead and take a look at the articulation. So you get 2 pieces of articulation in the neck, like I said. So the neck is mostly downward movement. You don't get a whole lot of back there, backward movement. And then the collar doesn't really inhibit it, but it pretty much just ends right where the collar starts. So that's about all the up movement that you're going to get. Get a nice range of down movement. You get rotation at both pieces, and then as far as any pivot goes, it's slight. It's actually pretty good. That's pretty solid for Marvel Legends. There's no butterfly joints, which doesn't bother me at all. And then your articulation for your shoulders, you can get them to raise a little bit better than horizontally. Full rotation, bicep swivel, pinless elbows and knees for the folks that really like that. So that's pretty cool. You get some double jointed elbows, which don't look too bad. Wrist rotation and a hinge. That goes for all 4 hands. And then you get a diaphragm joint and a waist crunch, an inverted ab crunch. But you don't get to really bring it back. No, I guess you can. I'm mistaken. But I've always kind of had a hard time getting him to stand up properly, but I don't know. I guess I'll be able to do it that time. But you can really... can't get a whole lot of back movement altogether. But as far as a crunch, that's pretty good. And then, of course, you get a swivel at the diaphragm, and then you get some pivot. The legs move out that far, which is really nice. No drop downs, which I don't mind at all. I prefer that, actually. And then your legs can move out basically horizontally. Not really any back movement, too much to say. Or nothing to speak of, I should say. Thigh swivel. I know you can get a little bit more of that. There you go. Knee joint, double jointed knees. Oh, look at that. Calf rotation. I should have assumed that, but I wasn't sure. And your ankles can move down that far, which is really nice. and then you get not really any up movement at all, and then you get your ankle pivot. So yeah, guys, the articulation on this dude is really, really solid. Some of the best articulation just using sort of basic joints. You know, he doesn't have the drop down hits or the butterfly joints, but he does have some cool unique things, like he's got the 2 sets of articulation for the chest as well as the separate neck as well, so that's a little bit different. You don't see that on a whole lot of figures. You're starting to now, but as far as the chest and the as far as the diaphragm and the ab crunch go, you're starting to see both of those together, but not so much the neck. But he's really, really solid. He's a lot better than this guy per se in terms of articulation, but this one's more of an aesthetic piece for me, and then this one's more of a, well, this is also an aesthetic piece for what it's based off of, but this is more of your articulation, your photos and stuff like that. You're going to be able to use this guy. So I think he's very, very solid. I do really recommend him. I think we basically went over everything that was really important. I'll show you guys what the other head sculpt looks like on it. Oof, I think that's the first time I put it on there. So yeah, that doesn't look bad at all. So let's go ahead and get into some size comparisons. Alright guys, here he is compared to the Toy Biz Lizard on the left, based off Todd McFarlane's artwork, and then on the right, here he is compared to the Toy Biz Fearsome Foes Spider-Man, which I picked up earlier this week. A really great find. I will be doing a video on him for as well, so stay tuned for that. But there you go, right there. Alright guys, here he is compared to the Mafex Comics Colors Spidey on the right, the 185 version, and on the left, it's the Renew Your Vows Marvel Legends figure with the animated series head. A few other villain size comparisons. Here he is compared to the Marvel Legends, the most recent Marvel Legends Hobgoblin figure, as well as the most recent Marvel Legends Shocker figure. Your last size comparison, here he is compared to the Marvel Legends 60th anniversary first appearance Spidey on the left, as well as the Sentinel Peter B. Parker on the right. Alright guys, I think that's about it for this video. If you haven't noticed, I do like this figure a lot, and I do really recommend him. So if you haven't picked him up yet, go ahead and do that, because he is a great piece. Probably the best Lizard overall, in my opinion, and one of the best villain figures that Marvel Legends has produced, at least for Spider-Man. So yeah, with all that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell. All that would be greatly appreciated if you decide to do so. And if you like the video that much, maybe you want to go ahead over to my second channel, Michael's Customs and Comics, and give that a few watches, or maybe subscribe to that one. It would be greatly appreciated. And of course, until next time, true believers.